Fakhteh Zamani, Director of the Association for the Defence of Azerbaijani Political Prisoners, welcome to Amnesty International. There have been a series of demonstrations in the northwest of Iran recently in connection with the drying up of Lake Urmia. Could you tell us why these demonstrations have been taking place?
This lake, we believe, that is drying out because of government's mismanagement. That put aside, but we do not also believe that this is just about it. Lake Urmia is a catastrophe for the region, that there's no doubt about it. It's going to affect the whole region. But this has a root, and that comes from Azerbaijanis feeling neglected, discriminated, ignored. So they have taken action, they have gone to see their parliament members, but unfortunately some of them, after visiting their members, they were threatened not to come back and not to mention the lake problem. So people started to organize and they started to come out, and initially in Urmia in a very large numbers.
Did the authorities permit some of these demonstrations, or were they all repressed?
No permits were issued. They applied for permits, and those who went to ask for permits, they were later arrested or immediately, not even well-known activists.
Mm-hmm. And how did the authorities interact with these large demonstrations?
Unfortunately, as always they do, is by violence and attacking the peaceful demonstrations, by batons and by rubber bullets. And
how many people have been arrested in connection with the demonstrations about Lake Urmia?
We had, from the beginning, in an iftar dinner in Tabriz, we had around 30 people arrested. Later on, we had well-known activists picked up, like Faranak Farid, Abbas Listani, and other activists in Urmia. And following that, during demonstrations, we had hundreds of people arrested.
What do you think has been happening to those who've been arrested?
And initially and probably continuously, they have been tortured and beaten and interrogated around the clock. So there are two things that are affecting these detainees. On one hand, ill treatment by the government. On the other hand, to protest their illegal arrests, they have gone on a hunger strike. And they obviously, authorities are refusing to give them medical treatment, and we are very concerned about their health.
Going forward, if these demonstrations continue to take place, if they are repressed, what is the avenue? Where will Azerbaijani people, and indeed other Iranians who may be concerned about Lake Urmia, where will they take their protest?
In the last months, and actually more than a year, that we have seen footages of Traktorsazi's football matches, that sometimes even when Traktorsazi was losing, still people were cheering and shouting slogans, asking for language rights, and even this slogans for Lake Urmia started in Traktorsazi's football matches, because that's the only way that large group of people can get together, and then they would express themselves. It has taken a different purpose for them. It is not just football.
What needs to be done to meet the concerns of the Azerbaijani people in Iran?
They can start from the minimum of giving them rights to have education in their language. There's absolutely not even private classes are permitted to be held. Many of activists have been in prison for advocating language rights. And we have environmental catastrophe, which is Lake Urmia, and on top of we have women's issue there, and just goes on and on.
Fakhteh Zamani, Director of the Association for the Defence of Azerbaijani Political Prisoners, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.